Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Drop-In CEO podcast. I'm Deb Coviello, your host, and I am just grateful you have come to drop in and listen for about 10, 15 minutes to some insights that I have that may help you navigate your career challenges and opportunities with confidence, whether you are a C-suite leader or somebody that is aspiring to have a seat at the table. I do this because I want you to struggle less and really enjoy doing more of the things that you love for yourself, family, friends, and community. And this season, we are in a place where I'm just trying to give you tools to make life so much easier. It's about expressing gratitude, reducing your stress, or what are the tools you need to predict the future? Yes, predict the future. Again, if we do some of these things, I tell you, things start happening that you didn't expect before. Now, this particular month, I do want to focus on human connection and trust. And while getting ready for this episode, I was looking for some stats to kind of validate this is an important topic. And so here we go. Less than half, or 47%, say they feel connected in the important relationships in their life. And only 27% say they believe most people can be trusted today, a decline from 50% measured just a few decades ago. Oh my, this is a startling statistic, and I just wanted to understand why this is. But rather than dwelling on why it is, I want to talk to you about why we should be investing more in human connection, because ultimately what we are trying to do is maintain relationships as the outcome of the work we're doing. It's going to make things so much easier when it comes to the business transaction. When we focus simply on the business agenda for when we bring people together, what you want to accomplish can sometimes be impossible. And you know me, I go against the status quo. I provide you insights that other people are not talking about, or not enough people are talking about. But when we start with establishing human connection, which leads to trust, you're ultimately not only going to get a better result now, but long-term results with the people we engage with. And so it's important not only for the C-suite leader out there that might recognize that this is important, but think about the people around you that are not exhibiting this behavior. Could you tap them on the shoulder, maybe provide them a link to this podcast and help them to understand how important it is? Or maybe you can do it yourself. And this is a gentle reminder that for the collective group of the teams that you're in charge of, they might get a better result when they focus a little bit more on humanity versus the transaction. Now, why is this so important to me? Because I have learned my lesson. I remember, I'll say when I was about 35 as a quality manager, leading a process improvement effort that I had to bring all the C-suite leaders together. And I was so proud about the agenda that I had put together. And it was really critical to get through all the points. And we did. But one of the leaders pulled me aside and said, Deb, thank you for having an agenda, but sometimes the meetings we have are not about the agenda. Sometimes we need to take a pause. Sometimes we need to talk things through. Maybe it wasn't about the agenda, but giving people time, the chance to talk through the issues. And so that hit me like a bolt of lightning, that it wasn't about what I wanted to get done, but sustaining relationships. And I was just a facilitator for those conversations. I've learned a lot from this. I've applied it to coaching clients, business leaders. I listen deeply to what is it that we want to get done and not worry about the agenda. I achieve much more sustaining results. And don't listen to me. I interviewed Dave Horsiger of the Trust Institute. He was a podcast guest, and he also said that trust is one of the key lacking behaviors or characteristics in society. And if we focus a little bit more on trust, we might actually get better business transactions in the end. So don't ask, don't take it from me. Other people are saying it too. So it is worth the investment, investing time in human connection and trust in order to get a better outcome. But don't just listen to me. I want to give you some tools so that you can do it yourself. And again, it's not rocket science. It's pretty simple, but let me break it down to you in a framework so you can implement it. So here's the framework. Again, it's 6 steps. Get ready to write these things down or be in a place where you can take note of going through these individual steps. Step 1, set the main agenda. And it is not the business agenda. The main agenda is, what do you want from the relationship? When you go into it, simply ask people, how are they doing? How's their personal life? How are they feeling this day, this week? Maybe start with a little bit of humor or maybe some points of commonality that brought you together, whether it was recently or a long time ago. You need to set that agenda on what is the importance of this relationship. If it's new, how can you build on it? If it's an existing one, how can you maintain it? If it's a challenging one, how can you elevate it? So think about, through the process of facilitating a business agenda, what is the outcome that you want with this interaction with this human? Step 2, set the business agenda. Of course, what are the transactional things you need to get? What are the results you're trying to achieve? Step 3, move through the business agenda, but be ready to pause. Pause in case the conversation or the agenda is not going in a direction that you wanted it to go. So step 4, revisit the relationships. If we're not getting through the business agenda and people are maybe feeling uneasy about the content or the conversation, they don't feel supported, there is no stakeholder support or alignment, go back to the human connection and seek to understand why they feel a certain way and what help would get them to a place of maybe moving forward. And by the way, be ready to stop the conversation if it needs to, and we need to regroup and get the energy where it needs to be done. And finally, of course, agree to, on the business side, what you wanted to accomplish, maybe follow up in an email. Always express gratitude, not attitude, gratitude for the time you have spent together and future interactions. It shows respect to the relationship and a commitment to continue to move forward. And then step 6, and I'll repeat this from other episodes. When you act in this way, other people are following you. They're watching you. And you may see people starting to model the same behavior. And when we do these things, leading with trust, investing in the relationships, elevating others for people to do the same thing, I promise you, the quality of these relationships are going to get better. You are going to be top of mind for something else. You may have a tough initiative, but people are going to rally around you because you cared about them. You put respect and humanity above everything, and then ultimately to get through the business agenda. And so I will tell you, even now, even today, I write things down like when I'm going to have a meeting with somebody, what do I want to accomplish? I write their name down, the date, of course, the time we're meeting, just to remind me what brought us together in the past. What are the points of commonality? What did I remember that we spoke about last time? Because I really care about the person and I want them to transition. I want them to feel at ease and be ready for the business agenda. And so that's it. 6 steps. It's easy. Set a main agenda, the outcome, the business agenda, move through the agenda, but be ready to pause, check in with people to see how they're feeling. What do they need in order to move forward? Agree to what you are going to do together and show gratitude for their time. And then just make sure that we continue to do this over and over again. The world is going to reward you for it. So you know the next step. Tag, you are it. It is time to take this to action, whether you need this or not. Think about anybody else that can benefit from this episode. Please share it with them. But if you want to talk, if you want to just share your particular situation and how we might help you move through it. Again, I'm about helping C-suite leaders of today and tomorrow to navigate challenges with confidence. You could probably repeat that because I say it over and over again, but I really mean it. Please reach out to me on my website, dropinceo.com. Schedule a 30-minute conversation just to get to know each other, invest in humanity, and maybe there'll be some insights that we can glean from the conversation. Also, LinkedIn's my playground. Direct message me there. I would love to have a conversation with you. And it is me there, not an admin or anything. You are connecting directly with me. And the reason why I offer this to you, again, the topic being that it's more important to connect with humanity as the greater outcome versus what you actually do or plan to do, because at the end of the day, this is going to help you succeed. And with that, I just want to thank you for dropping in on another episode of the podcast. For week after week, I have the distinct pleasure of sharing a bit of time with you, and hopefully it will help you do better in your career, in your business. And I just want to say I wish you all well and much success until we meet again. Take care.